If you haven't been tuned into the news for the last hour and 15 minutes or so, there's been a big development on the Korean Peninsula. In a stunning move, the US President Donald Trump has cancelled his June 12th summit meeting with the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un in Singapore. The president scrapped the summit hours after North Korea warned that it is up to the Americans to continue with the summit. Mr. Trump wrote a letter directly to the North Korean leader saying, quote, "I was very much looking forward to being there with you. Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting." End quote. Citing the threat issued by North Korea's Vice Foreign Minister, he said, I quote again, "You talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God that they will never have to be used." End quote. At the Senate hearing, the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was asked if he thought Kim Jong Un was a weak leader. This, of course, in light of the President Donald Trump's letter to Kim Jong Un. This is what Pompeo said. Listen in.
Demonstrated an enormous capacity to lead his country and his team. So I don't think that's it. And frankly, I don't really know that I want to speculate as to why it is they took the actions, because I don't think we know. What I am hopeful is that we can continue to have conversations and put this back on track so that we can get to a place where we can achieve the outcome. I think it's worth. We talk a lot about summits and deals and the like. It's not about the deal. It's about the outcome. Right? It's about achieving this permanent physical change and transformation that will have the opportunity to change the world. And it is a corollary to that is a fundamental change in North Korea that would lead North Korea to have this opportunity for prosperity and good things, all the things that their neighbors to the south have. There will have to be a deal to get us to that point. But we shouldn't spend all our time thinking about the deal. I begin this hearing today by reading a letter that the State Department recently transmitted to Chairman Kim and North Korea. The letter is to Chairman Kim Jong Un, Chairman of the State Affairs Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And it reads as follows. Dear Mr. Chairman, we greatly appreciate your time, patience, and effort with respect to our recent negotiations and discussions relative to a summit long sought by both parties, which was scheduled to take place on June 12th in Singapore. We are informed that the meeting was requested by North Korea, but that to us is totally irrelevant. I was very much looking forward to being there with you. Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is appropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting. Or inappropriate, excuse me. I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting. Therefore, please let this letter serve to represent that the Singapore summit, for the good of both parties, but to the detriment of the world, will not take place. You talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God they will never have to be used. I felt that a wonderful dialogue was building up between you and me, and ultimately is only that dialogue that matters. Someday, I look very much forward to meeting you. In the meantime, I want to thank you for the release of the hostages who are now home with their families. That was a beautiful gesture and was very much appreciated. If you change your mind having to do with this important summit, please do not hesitate to call me or write. The world, and North Korea in particular, has lost a great opportunity for lasting peace and great prosperity and wealth. This missed opportunity is a truly sad moment in history. Sincerely yours, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
So let's take a look at the quote-unquote tremendous anger and open hostility that the president was possibly referring to in that letter to Kim Jong Un. The statement, of course, seems to be the one that the North Korean Vice Foreign Minister Cho Son-hui issued earlier this week. It read, quote, "Whether the U.S. will meet us at a meeting room or encounter us at nuclear-to-nuclear showdown is entirely dependent upon the decision and behavior of the United States." End quote. He also slammed the U.S. Vice President Mike Pence over his warning to Kim Jong Un, calling Pence a quote-unquote political dummy. In an interview, Pence had warned North Korea, saying it would be a great mistake to try and play Washington ahead of a planned summit with President Donald Trump. Pence said that the North could end up like Libya if Kim Jong Un didn't make a deal. Now, as a reference point, Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was killed in an uprising years after he gave up his nuclear weapons. Now, all these developments have taken place in the hours after North Korea demonstrated how it was willing to stick to its end of the bargain. Now, it offered further demonstration of the fact just today by dismantling its nuclear test site at Punggye-ri. Reporters who observed that dismantling said that at least 3 tunnels, observation buildings and staff quarters were blown up. The North had invited journalists to watch the event, which was announced last month following the declaration of the Trump-Kim summit. North Korea has conducted 6 nuclear tests from this site in the mountains on the country's northeast. The site dismantled today was the only active nuclear test site in the world. But it is significant to note here that many experts say that Kim isn't one to give up his nuclear test site or his nuclear weapons so easily. In fact, some say that the test site that was dismantled today had already partially collapsed and was unusable in any case.